Mine's not either. I don't
Yeah,
know
mine
why.
doesn't work either. It's just like, okay,
You don't
whatever.
hit
I
space
hate my
to turn
life.
it on.
Once you type it in, you got to hit the toggle box that says off
Yeah,
to
there's a
on.
toggle box. that
Yeah,
says off.
I did that too, but
I did that. It's not.
Well, this
Your
makes me
shit's
sad.
busted.
But we're here. All right, let's talk about some video games.
all right.
Welcome, everyone. This is our 2015 year-end review for the Extra Life Halifax Guild. We are all volunteers in our local guild who participated with Extra Life. My name's Austin Flaherty. Joining us tonight, we have Dave O'Loughlin from Nova Gamer,
Howdy.
Garrett Mosier from the Internet.
Internet. That's me.
That's you. Dan Diz from Gameplay over at Twitch.
Ahoy, ahoy.
And Mr. Greg Seward joining us from Player One Podcast and Generation 16.
What up?
What's going on? So, guys, we have a bit of a task ahead of us. We have a long list of games here to represent what came out in the last year. And hopefully some of these are real solid bangers, and most of them are going to be garbage, so we can cut them easily, but I don't think that's the way it is.
Bangers. Bangers.
Bangers.
Straight ballin'.
That's right.
Goody.
Is there NBA Ballers, the title that I missed this year?
No, Baller Beats was a few years ago.
Ballers was amazing.
There will never be a
God.
better basketball bouncing music game.
Connect exclusive.
Connect exclusive.
So yeah, we're gonna go through a list, and we're gonna take turns, kind of having some discussion points about maybe cutting some of these titles or saving some of these titles, till we get down to the nitty gritty, and then we'll make a list of 10. So I'm gonna read out the entire list of games we have from top to bottom real quick, so everybody knows what we have. So Dying Light for the PS4, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate for the 3DS, Majora's Mask for the 3DS, Bloodborne for PS4, Axiom Verge, which came across multiple platforms, I think, Mortal Kombat X, Crypt of the Necrodancer, Witcher 3, Splatoon, Batman Arkham Knight, Rocket League, Galaxy the Dimensional, Rare Replay, Until Dawn, Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, Super Mario Maker, Soma, Fallout 4, Xenoblade Chronicles Cross, or X, Halo 5 Guardians, Cities Skylines, H1Z1, Just Cause 3, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Project Cars, World of Warships, NHL 16, Forza 6, Ori and the Blind Forest, and F1 2015.
That's a solid list.
That is a
That's
big
a solid
list.
list.
Good games.
Yep.
Big list.
It's a big list.
That's a lot of good,
That's a lot,
good
man.
games and Mario Maker.
And Mario Maker.
Shots fired already.
Yeah.
Mario Maker.
I'm gonna be the only. Yeah. There's Mario Maker. That's-
All right. It's gonna get heated in here.
Yeah,
I
it
like
is.
it. I like it. So, that being said, Dan, why don't you pick a title off the list and give us some heat?
You want some heat?
Yeah. Cut
All
something.
right. Well, how about port of Batman to PC? That
Ooh.
pretty much was just
Terrible.
didn't
That's
work.
fair.
Didn't work. So
Game
much so
exist.
that they went around like they gave refunds. Well, what was it? Well after, like 6, 8, 10, almost a year. I think. Not quite obviously because it hasn't been out that long, but like right up until the date, I think they were just handing out refunds left, right, and center because of the quality of the game. So that was a huge disappointment for me because that's what I played the last couple of Batman games on. So I didn't want to jump over to the PC or jump over to the console rather. So that being a complete bomb was a huge letdown.
So, I know the PC version was god awful, but the console version was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I was thinking does the kind of wellness of the console versions kind of teeter-totter the horrible PC version. That's
Yeah.
kind of the.
Yeah.
We had
Does
some
that keep it in
conversations.
the
Is
list?
that one of the top 10 best games of the year?
Yeah.
I mean, it was more Batman.
I didn't really play it, but I mean, yeah, anybody I know who played it outside of the PC seemed to really like it.
I think other than the Batmobile stuff, it was a really good Batman game.
I watched you play it for a little while, Austin. It was too much Batmobile. Like you said, it was so much Batmobile. I think every time I turned the stream on, you were playing, but it was like, oh, look, he's in the car again. It's exciting.
Isn't this the one that had the '89 Batmobile?
Forza Batman is what that basically turned.
Yeah, no, it
to
did
be.
have skins for the Adam West stuff and the
No,
and
not-
the Michael Keaton.
The Michael Keaton
Batmobile
one?
as well. Yeah.
Put it right at number 1.
Okay.
Michael
Best
Keaton was the only
Batmobile in
good.
history.
I'm going
Podcast.
to
Yeah, absolutely.
bold the PS4, Xbox One versions of that game, and
I mean, but is another Batman game just good enough to get into top 10?
No.
Is that just enough to get it in there? You know what I mean? With a really crappy PC port and a pretty good console experience from what I've heard, you know.
I mean, that game looks amazing, and I know this isn't all about the artistic merit of the title, but it definitely has, I think, one of the better Batman stories of the 4 games that exist. It's solid controls with the exception of the Batmobile. The world's great. They do a really good job building a story out of that, in my opinion. And as someone who's kind of a Batman guy, I saw the hook coming like from the first 20 minutes of that game, basically. But I think it's good. I don't think it's a top 10 contender.
Yeah, because it's really good, but how much does it really build on, you know, the previous ones that have come out, right? Not a whole lot.
That's fair. All right. Let's move that out of the list.
I'll tell you, I think having done that, I think maybe the better way to get this done tonight would actually be to go through and pick a few games that we don't think. Let's see if we can agree on some stuff that we don't think should be in the top 10.
Sure. Okay.
And whittle this list down a little bit.
Do you have any suggestions, Greg?
I would immediately take. I was just staring at it. Project Cars.
No.
Top 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Defend it, Mosier. You gotta defend it.
I mean, it had
No doubt.
fantastic weather effects. The flexibility to race in all kinds of different classes. You can race go-karts. If you want to race go-karts, you can race karts with like 5-6 guys in a party racing go-karts. Maybe you have an adult beverage, maybe you don't. It's a lot of fun. I mean, Forza, you can do the same kind of thing, but I don't know. The flexibility of Project Cars was really nice. The weather, I mean, I care about the weather, but I don't care about the weather. But I mean, I don't know that I would immediately throw it out. It is great. It has more support. I don't see it as being. It looks amazing if you want to factor in that, but I just don't think it's an immediate toss.
So I have a question. What did you play it on?
PS4 for me.
Yeah, see, same here. And I found it unplayable.
Why?
Especially the
Oh,
go-karts.
yeah.
You're talking about the go-karts? I hated the go-karts.
I mean, I like to go. I found the go-karts were fun with friends. I wouldn't sit there and play like go-karts by myself. The cup cars, like the little golfs and like the little small like, you know, B and C class cars, that was a lot of fun. Like the high-end racing cars, Forza has the advantage there. They're more playable higher end of like the supercars and stuff. But I found Project Cars throughout the mid-range just trounced Forza.
I would completely disagree with that, but I will admit there were definitely shining moments in that game. For me, you just had to wade through too much shit to find them. That's my opinion. But I mean, obviously, you feel good about it, so let's not take it off the list. Let's leave it there.
I mean,
For now.
Yeah, for now.
Until you come to your senses later when you see like 15 games that are better than that one.
Okay. So Mosier, you take a stab at something here.
You want me to take one off right away? I mean,
Yeah. You want to defend Project Cars? You got to take something else out.
Black Ops 3. It's the same as every other. I mean, it's I don't see it as a top 10. I do not.
Let me make this real easy. Do any of us have Black Ops 3 as a top 10 title this year?
Nope.
Nope.
I put it on there for the conversation.
I play it. I enjoy it. I like to shoot stuff. But
I've played it.
Yeah, say I play it and I do have a blast with it. Is it pushing the genre? No,
Exactly.
No.
it's not.
There are at least
It's Call of Duty, but I mean, it's fun. I had a good time with it, but yeah, it's not a top 10.
there are at least 20 games on this list that I would play before I would play COD Ops 3.
Yeah.
I'm not mad that I bought it, but I wouldn't put it in the top anything.
Yeah.
So we say goodbye to Call of Duty.
Fair enough.
Dave, you're next.
All right. I'm gonna go for I'm going for H1Z1.
Oh, really?
It's
Here
They can-
again, defending another game.
it's
Yeah.
early access. It's still
But you know that going into it.
I kind of have to agree.
I have to agree with Dave that it's an early access title. I will give it its merit. I think it's probably one of the better battle royale experiences for multiplayer, and they've done a really good job of adapting an early access game into something new. But
Yeah,
there's no way that's
I-
a top 10 experience for the year.
to
Man,
me.
some of the top experiences in gaming I had this year happened in H1Z1 in a party with friends. Like, hands down. I mean, Austin, you didn't join us a lot. But, like, Dan and Carl and Joe and I, like, I mean, even we were talking about the other night, like, the Sun Brothers.
But okay, but I can also talk about, like, I've played H1Z1 enough without you guys, and then
Yeah.
I've played other survival games like Hurt World or Rust or DayZ.
That's fair.
To know that
That's fair.
it's still an early access title, and there's not enough there in terms of substance.
Plus, it
Yeah.
gets to come back next year when it actually gets released full.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
In the
true,
Dota
and I
2
mean-
scenario.
That's true. And I mean, the other thing is, yeah, I mean, one of the things that bothered me about it is the fact they do a server wipe like every other week. It seems like nothing you create in the game has it. Yeah, so yeah, you're right. It's gone.
Yep. Okay. And again, if that's in your top 10, that's cool. I just don't think it's a.
Yeah. No, agreed.
Okay. So now it's my turn, and I'm gonna go for one of my own titles in this list because that makes my life easier. Majora's Mask for the 3DS.
No, but wait.
Okay.
No,
wait.
just joking. Take it off.
Okay. I just want to mention that if you've ever missed Majora's Mask somehow, this is the way to play it. And
Oh yeah, this is so much more playable than the old
Yeah.
N64
they've
game.
fixed all sorts of nonsense. The journal system is great. Yeah, overall, best version of Majora's Mask that exists. But yeah,
That
doesn't
being
need to be in
said,
the top
is
10.
Majora's Mask
It's
great?
Majora's Mask. Yeah.
I would argue no, but
What was the original year of release on that? Does anybody have any idea? offhand?
98.
98.
Actually, no. You know what? No, it wasn't. It was later than that.
No, it was 99.
So I would say it actually was 2000.
Zelda was 90. Like 64 was 97 or 98. Yeah, you're right. 2000.
So game of the year 2000?
Maybe.
Yeah, April 27th,
Yeah.
2000.
Although, just talk for a second. That game talks about death in a really good way. Like the way it pushes all that on you. It's like such a weird concept in a Zelda game. I forgot how dark that game was when I went back and played
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't a goldfish in a toilet bowl.
No. This is the moon crashing into the earth and murdering everybody over and over and over. Fantastic. Greg, what do you got?
To take off this list, I would say Halo 5.
Ooh.
Shots fired. And
Again-
I don't think you're incorrect.
I refuse to buy it. Flat out refuse to buy it.
Yeah, I won't.
Yeah, I'm a big Halo fan. Halo 4 wasn't crazy about. Halo 5, I did play through it, but only because I played it co-op and got rid of it right away.
I refuse
care if I
to
ever see it
feed
again.
money into the 343 hot dog machine.
Yeah, 343 hasn't proven that they can do a great Halo game.
But that
Hot dog
multiplayer,
machine.
that multiplayer's solid.
Yeah.
Is it?
I guess if you're into
Did you
that
watch
thing.
Greg try to play co-op though? Because he couldn't get like the matchmaking to work. It seemed like it was broken just as much as the Master Chief Collection was.
Wow. Okay. No, I haven't. I haven't delved into the co-op world. I'm a solo guy. I have no friends.
It's not a terrible game by any means, but it just
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's I would say it's the weakest Halo game.
Oh.
Damn. I didn't play it. I won't buy it, but damn.
I think this probably skirts like the 10. It's somewhere in that
Yeah, it might.
5 slots above that in terms of, hey, it's a AAA Halo title, but Dave, I think you're the only other person with input on this, so
Yeah. I'm honestly I haven't finished the campaign. I keep getting distracted by multiplayer, and I have a fantastic time with it. So honestly, I don't think that I can go that far to defend it without having that much time into it. Honestly.
all right. Well, we will chop it. Goodbye, Halo 5.
Damn, that was quick.
That was easy.
I thought it would last a little longer.
No,
They didn't make it hard.
not.
Never mind.
So since you were the defender, Dave, take a swing.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Oh, what am I gonna go for here?
Greg's just gonna delete everything out of the.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all gone.
Get it over with.
Game of the year, Hearthstone. Got it. Okay.
I'm gonna go. I gotta go rare replay.
Ooh.
Ooh. I think that's fair. Rare replay is a really good game, but it's also like here's a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
There's a handful of titles in that package that I care about, and all the extra stuff they put in there, the behind the scenes stuff is really neat. But
That's just it. There's some great games in there, and then there's some oddities in there that you kind of, especially I think for people people who grew up on this side of the world, you see, there's a bunch of stuff in there from Spectrum.
Yep.
Which is cool to see because that's where Rare made their name, or back when they were called Ultimate Play the Game. But and also, it's cool to have like Battletoads Arcade, because when have you ever played that?
Yeah.
And to learn that they're such bastards and like made the final boss impossible, so you had to feed tons of money into the thing. Like, all that stuff's cool, but at the end of the day, are you ever gonna play any of that stuff after you've sort of messed around with it a little bit?
Yeah, I feel like it would be something you throw in for a couple of nights, and then you're like, okay, I had my time with this, and I'll put this to bed.
I want to mention that the version of Conker's Bad Fur Day that's in there is really good. As somebody who owns a cartridge for Conker's Bad Fur Day, it's definitely nice to have one that I can just digitally load up and play. But yeah.
It's a good compilation. It's a lot of good games, but let's be honest. Who expects a compilation disc to make it into a Game of the Year top 10?
I think it's a neat piece of history. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we will chop rare replay. Mosier.
Oh my god.
The Moj.
Here it comes. Are you ready?
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
Going for the juggler here.
I'm just gonna watch all of your heads explode at once, but I'm gonna say Super Mario Maker has to go.
You know what? I agree with Mosier 100%.
I'm not giving up on that.
Has to go.
No.
Has to go.
No. Absolutely not.
No.
Why?
It's not the best game of the year, but it's one of the best Mario games in the last decade.
Because
That has nothing to do with
F was
that.
2015.
Wait a minute.
So Greg,
That's not the criteria.
I think it's a valid comparison for the title that came out to be like, how does this stack up against the rest of the Mario games? But let me position it to you like this. I have seen more creators making stuff for this, and I have logged in at least an hour, usually every day or every other day, to play the random 100 levels and just kind of go at it, the 100 Mario challenge, and I love it. I love Mario in general, so I think it's.
So do I, and that's what hurts me the most. But we bought it for the Extra Life stream, actually. I've tried to play it probably on 10 different occasions since. It's too much. Like, when you play some of these user-generated levels, it's like they're not even fun anymore. Maybe I just haven't found some good creators, but for me, it was a throw. If Amanda didn't like, she just likes to have the game, I would have already put it on Kijiji. Like, I would have put it on Kijiji immediately.
How much time did you spend actually creating? Did you do the challenges mostly? Because I did a lot of the creation, and that's where I got a lot of fun out of.
I put probably 3 hours into the creating, and that dubstep weird noise. Like, if I played it with the volume completely off, maybe I could deal with it a little bit. But for me, I'm not a 16-year-old girl going, yeah, Skrillex, boom, boom, boom. Like, I can't. It was not for me. You know what I'm talking about. Any of you look at it. I can see right now.
Listen, if we're gonna leave Project Cars on this list for right now, we're leaving Super Mario Maker on this list for right now.
Oh,
I've got to agree with that.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I can't really argue that, considering I'm trying to get Cars off the list. But
yeah, no, that's fair.
Not the greatest game of the year, but it's certainly a.
We'll see where it lands in the final tally.
All right.
Okay. I'm gonna fight you, Mosier.
IRL, bro.
NHL 16 does not belong on this list.
I agree.
Agreed.
Yep.
Which hurts because I put it on there.
Yep. Off it goes. Just gonna say this is my first year playing hockey since 06. And
That's not to say we haven't had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun with it, but it's not one of the best games of the year.
No.
It's still not as good as it was a few years back.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, Dan.
All right, let's see.
Now it's starting to get a little more difficult.
Yeah,
Shit's getting real.
that's,
Yeah, it is.
it's because I mean, there's a couple on here that I haven't played, so I automatically sort of look to them to remove them from the list. One that I really enjoyed, but I don't think it needs to be in the top 10 of the year, to be honest. And it's one of those sort of it's sort of a hard decision, but not really, and that's going to be Dying Light.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I have no opinion on that game.
It was,
Nope.
and it's good, but I don't want to put it.
And to be fair, to be fair, the fact that at least two of us have absolutely no input on the game whatsoever says that it wasn't that big of a deal. We all spend, any of us here spend a lot of time playing games, and if it was that intriguing, we would have at least tried it by now. And if we haven't, that has to say something.
I'm gonna try to defend this as best I can because I think Dying Light is in my top 10 for the year. There's been so much developer support for this, but this is the game that I wanted at Dead Island. The parkour, the
Fair
weapons,
Absolutely.
it spoke to me as hey, it's the beginning of the year, and this is one of those games that's coming out that is just way different than what's been out on the console already. I think they have a really good handle on making that city that you're in feel like a real terrible place. And the atmosphere of the daytime opposed to the nighttime sequences in that game where it goes nighttime and the screen's black but a crosshair. And if you stumble upon one of the super mutants, you're in for a shitstorm. It is scary. It is a really good action game. The traversal sequences are really interesting. The crafting, super good. And the developer support, they put 2-3 DLC packs out that have included double the missions of the original content plus a whole bunch of co-op stuff. I think this is a game that deserves at least a look if you haven't played it, but I'm okay to take it out of the top 10 for the group.
It's one of those ones that's not as easy for me because I enjoyed it, but was it in my top 10 of the year? I don't know.
Yeah, I watched a couple streamers play it. I haven't personally played it.
It was good. It was fun.
Yeah,
I felt like I had to do everything in that game. I felt like I had to unlock everything.
That offers a lot of replay value, which is important these days. Because how many games do you buy? You spend $50, you play them for 3 hours, and then it's next.
Why are you talking about Mario Maker like that?
Yep.
Rude.
Because it wasn't good.
Yep. All right, so Dave, I think maybe other than Dan, you're the only other person that's played this, or you have my copy actually.
Yeah. I still have that, and with everything you're saying, I don't have enough or as much time as you probably do with it, but with everything you're saying, I'm completely in line with you. It was what I wanted from Dead Island, and I really got excited about the genre again. I still enjoyed Dead Island. It was janky as hell, and but I really enjoyed this, and I want to see where they keep going with it. Say the parkour, the traversal, the upgrade system. It's crazy at night, and yeah, I'd honestly put it in my top 10 for the year. Absolutely, no question, I would.
Well, if we got two people saying it should be top 10, then it should stay.
Leave it there for now. Yeah, absolutely.
I put it there.
There are definitely more that could go up before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this doesn't rank super high on my 10 list, but it's definitely one of those games that I think deserves a look for the year, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Dan, have a swipe.
Oh, you have to fire another shot. One that I haven't played, but I know I'm familiar with the series, and that is Monster Hunter. Dated. I don't want to play this.
Yep, I agree with that.
I can go play Phantasy Star Online for old private servers. I don't need it.
Guys, let me paint you a picture.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
So now we know that anything at the top of the list is something that Austin added.
Hold on. I'm going to also preface this that this list was in chronological order from the release at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
I thought it was no particular order.
No particular order in terms of console, but chronological order. So Monster Hunter 4, you get into a convoy where there is a cat chef that cooks you everything. And then every day you come back and talk to him, and you pick the ingredients, and he's like this little tiny cat like this, and he's got a huge wok, and I'm going to take it off the list. Okay.
Game of the year.
Game of the year.
Although Cat Chef sounds interesting.
That game is a lot of fun, but you have to kind of trug through their tutorial system, which is not great.
So it's Monster Hunter.
Yeah, but I think it was the most accessible Monster Hunter I've played. So.
I mean, people love their Monster Hunter. People love their Monster Hunter. They eat it up. But it's just more of the same stuff for me, and it's, you know, the controls feel a bit dated. You know, the game itself feels dated.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna suggest that Mortal Kombat X does not belong on this list.
I think that's
Agreed.
safe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Their PC release was god awful, and the Xbox and PS4 online services have never been great. So we will take that off the list.
Because block is a button.
Exactly. Greg, take us away.
1990s all over again. Oh, man.
It's getting tough.
Yeah, see, the stuff that's on here that I've played, I can see leaving on here. Then there's a few things here I haven't played. I'm gonna... Man, I don't know. I'm gonna say Fallout 4.
Oh.
It's not in my top 10. I'm trading my copy tomorrow.
For $2.
Yep.
Bottle caps.
Yeah, that's right. 2 bottle caps.
Yeah, I just found I don't know. Maybe it was because I was the open world games this year. There were a lot of really great games this year. But by the time Fallout 4 came out, I was just so, I think, sick and tired of open world games. So that might have something to do with it. But it's just like, from a technical standpoint, it's glitchy as hell. They haven't. It feels like they haven't updated their tech in ages. And like, you know, I look at something like The Witcher 3, which is beautiful, from everything from the landscape to the characters to the animation, and then you look at Fallout 4, and all I can see is how much more it could be. But that's just my opinion.
I need it on the list. I physically need it on the list.
I do.
That's
I do
cool,
too.
man.
I mean,
I do too. I need it on there.
For me,
yeah.
I know I have
You know
the
what?
weird opinion on that game.
Here's the thing. When that game was coming out, I was like, oh, Fallout 4, blah, blah, blah. And then, because I'm not the biggest single-player guy. Like, I think a couple of you know that. It's not, I should say it wasn't my thing. If it didn't have a multiplayer, I lost interest in 5 minutes, and that was that. But I've really enjoyed. Now, maybe that's because I haven't played the other Fallouts, so I don't have, like, I can't say, oh, it hasn't improved. It was good enough for me when I played it with Austin to run out and get cat food and come home with a copy of Fallout 4 from Best Buy. From playing it for like 10 minutes with Austin. And I was like, it really made a big impression, and I've had a lot of fun playing it. I think it's hurt, like, our small gaming community that plays together, it hurt it a bit in that it kind of like separated us a little bit. Like we've kind of stopped playing together as much as we did, but we were still together chatting and stuff. But so that's good. But I think it's had a big impact. It's had such a big impact that it should stay. I think it deserves to stay on the list.
That's fair. Like I said, I know I have the definitely minority opinion on that game. It's just that it's getting hard at this point. So
I think
go big or go home.
I agree a bit with Greg and a bit with everybody else.
Leave it for now?
We're going to leave it for now.
I'd toss Project Cars before I toss Fallout 4.
Oh, see, this is progress. We're making progress.
All right. Okay. So that being said, Moshe, we're going to remove Project Cars from this list.
Do it.
And now you have to pick something else.
I have to pick something else. World of Warships.
I have no opinion on that game.
I,
Looks cool.
yeah,
No,
me
yeah, I
neither. I mean,
If
it
you
looks
haven't
okay,
tried
I
it, you
guess.
should. If you haven't tried it, you should. I would highly recommend. It's one of those games where you can just jump in with the queue, but you shouldn't. You should jump in with a few friends and do it that way. You can communicate a little better and play. It's easy to pick up, very difficult to master, I think. And it's a little more like, let's get you to spend money than World of Tanks, for example. Like World of Tanks, I find you don't need to spend a fortune to do well or progress in the game, whereas I feel like World of Warships is a little more like, let's get these guys for a little more money. So yeah, for me, that's gone.
Okay.
Down to 20.
Yeah, easy enough for me.
Definitely gone. Yeah. Dave.
I gotta go for ones now, at least that I haven't really played. So I'm going Galaxy.
Don't know anything about it.
Played it either.
It looked to me like just a cool version of Asteroids.
From what I saw, like it looked kind of neat, but it honestly, and yeah, I haven't played it, so I can't really stab it in the heart too much, but from what I've seen personally, to me it just kind of was like, it looks kind of neat, but I don't know if it's on a top 10 list for the game of the year.
I put this on the list because I thought it had the best style out of most games.
Yeah,
I've played
yeah,
this
like
year.
for
And
sure,
I'm a sucker for big
style-wise.
robots, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a game that needed a look just for the sake of they built something really cool. It looks like Robotech from the 80s.
Yeah, for sure. The aesthetic
Robotech.
looked really cool and everything, but yeah.
You said the magic word, Robotech.
Yeah, Greg,
Robotech's getting a live action movie.
It's really neat.
We'll see if Robotech actually gets a live action movie.
Well, it's like it did. 2017, I think.
Anyway. Dave, I'm willing to concede this. I'm just going to replace it.
Oh God.
Oh, now we're talking.
Oh, yeah.
Battlefront, baby.
I meant to put that on there.
How was that not there?
I hadn't thought about it.
Oh.
You know what?
I did, and then I forgot to put it on
See,
there.
now we're gonna get it. Now it's just gonna go crazy.
I guess I just assumed it was there. I guess I never really paid that much close of attention.
No. So we've removed Galaxy the Dimensional and replaced it with Star Wars Battle.
So we're no closer to
Still
a top
have
10.
20.
Yeah.
Still
If
have
we're gonna add games, no, I'm just kidding.
So I'll since that's my fault, I'm gonna go after Just Cause 3.
Yep.
I think that game's really cool, but it doesn't seem like it's anything more than Just Cause 2 was.
I can't argue
Have
that.
you played Just Cause 2?
I have. Well, yeah, and I get that Just Cause 3 has unlimited C4, Dave.
Unlimited
but
C4. I had you telling
there's
me
a
in my
reason to buy
ear.
that game, but
You said it was at one point.
I bought a copy of this, and it sat unopened on my coffee table for an entire weekend, and I didn't play it.
You should send it over this way then.
I took it back.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Remember
Hopefully,
me next time.
I will.
He'll still see you
Fair
for
enough.
exactly what the store's gonna give him.
Does anybody else want to stand up for Just Cause?
No.
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 All right. Sorry, Dave.
I didn't even play it, and I put it on there because I thought it looked badass.
Fired.
It does
I
look
agree, it looks
cool,
badass.
but I
Yeah.
just, yeah.
I don't
That's
know,
fair. That's fair.
I figure after a half an hour of running around just blowing everything up, you'd be like, "Whoa,
I was
like playing, you know?"
But those
It's like a
explosions
Michael-
look pretty
it's like a-
fancy.
Michael Bay made a video game.
I'm
Yeah.
not doubting that game it technically looks very nice, but I don't think it's a contender.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
Go on.
All right, Greg.
What, me? Oh.
The guys have actually highlighted one, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not calling that one out. One of you guys has to try to get off the list. I will just have to go with something I haven't really played. So, sell me on Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Oh my god. Who else has played the next?
Crazy.
Is it just me?
Crazy. No, it's
I've
good.
not
It's
played.
really good. It's crazy fun.
This is it's a top-down roguelike rhythm platformer.
Rhythm platformer. Okay.
And as your combo goes up, you have to move on the beat of the music.
Dungeon crawler.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
dungeon
holding
crawl.
this up right now. Hold on.
Yeah.
Rhythmic dungeon crawler. There
Yeah.
you go.
And as you move on the beat of the music, your combo increases, and the music gets like more and more of the track appears. It's kind of like amplitude or frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know, like you have to run into enemies on the right beat to attack them correctly, or they hit you. There's a lot of replay there. It's like most roguelikes, they have a bunch of stuff that kind of jumps in where you'll get persistent unlocks for more health or more armor. And there's also that shopkeeper music, right, Dan?
I got this as a birthday present, and it was a really good birthday present. I think. I was very happy with it as a birthday present.
I gave out 3 copies of this game for Christmas.
Not to me, I noticed.
No, not to you.
Yeah, me neither.
Hold on. Greg still owes me my copy of Street Fighter.
No, it's still stuck in his
Shots fired.
disc.
And you think this is the way to get it?
Yeah, you want to call me out for not getting you anything for Christmas? I just want my game back.
That's okay. You didn't buy me one anyway. It's fine.
That's okay. You guys are selling me on it. I mean, so I guess my question is, it sounds cool. Is it better than at least 10 other games on this list right now?
I can't see it.
I think it is. Personally.
It's better.
I'm watching it right now. I can't see it.
I'm good leaving it there. I'm just calling out, like, now everything which we get rid of or try to get rid of, we have to be thinking that it's better than at least, I should have said 9 other games on the list.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it looks like like Hotline Miami number 2, which is why I didn't put it on there. Like, it looks like, no, it doesn't look like that. I'm just saying it looks like it would be kind of fun for a minute, but I feel like it would taper off pretty quick.
Fair enough.
I'd be willing to concede that this game's in my top 10 list, but I'd be okay to take it off out of the top 10.
Well, if it's in your top 10 list,
That's
cool. I more just wanted to understand what it was.
I wouldn't end up whittling. If I was going to whittle that off, it wouldn't be until there'd be quite a few on here that I'd probably send away before that.
Then we're gonna leave it for now.
Alright.
It's got enough representation. Guys, what about Axiom Verge?
I was eyeing that up. I haven't played it. It looked kind of neat, but I don't know. Who has anybody played it?
I haven't played it, but it looks like a really cool fan service. But
See, yeah, I've played a little bit of it, and it's a pretty decent, like, Metroid style game.
Yeah.
Which I'm a huge fan of anything like that, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't scream top 10 to me.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think
It looks like Middle Mario.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
We'll get rid of Axiom Verge. I think if you have access to play that, you should. It's worth it if you like Metroid games at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked pretty. I watched quite a few streams of people playing it, and it looked pretty cool. But yeah.
Good style.
Yeah.
I don't like how the main character looks like Dr. Octopus though. Just kind of bugs me. Okay, Mosier.
Oh, sure. Let me see. Let's go back to the list here for a second.
You gotta stop doing that though.
Yeah. Let's go Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Ooh.
I will fight this.
Really?
Yep. It's one of my top 3 games of the year.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but I love the last Tomb Raider. I'd be willing to fight for this just on premise alone.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You love the last Tomb Raider, then know that this is everything good about that game refined.
Just on that premise, I'm behind Greg.
I've heard a lot of good things about it, so
But the fact that so many of us haven't played it, is it?
that's true. That's a testament. That's gonna be. That's
Because
something.
my wallet won't allow me to. That's the only reason I haven't played it.
Exactly.
So what other-
only came out
have
on
you
one
voted-
console.
Have you
Yeah.
voted for 10 other games or 9 other games with your wallet over that one?
That's on that list there. Honestly, no.
Okay. That's fair.
It's a tight wallet.
I don't know, man. I think all the Tomb Raider needed to be said was said with Tomb Raider 2. It's just me. Maybe. I don't know. It was okay. I tried a couple of the newer Tomb Raiders and I wasn't a fan.
Did you play the reboot one that they made, the last one?
No.
Yeah, this is like starting with the most recent game. Tomb Raider is not the Tomb Raider you're thinking of. Because I mean, they had that reboot on the PS2, which was awful. They had that Anniversary Edition or whatever it was called, which was pretty decent, but then those games kind of fell apart pretty quick as well. But the one that came out a couple of years ago, completely new game. It's basically Uncharted. It's Crystal Dynamics doing Uncharted.
I mean, I'll loan you a copy of Tomb Raider for the Expo and most sure you can play it.
Yeah, you should try it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I agree, I think, with Greg just on the fact that I know that this is a title that will end up in the next couple of months in my library. I think we should keep it on the list.
And because I know, too, there's actually a trial you can download on Xbox.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, there is a trial. I had no idea. I stumbled across it, and I was like, yep, I'm going to try this out.
No, it's fair.
Okay.
Okay.
Hangs out for now.
Fair enough.
Dan.
What's Soma?
What's Soma, Precious?
Boy, that's a really good reference for that. Am I the only person here that's played Soma?
I've never played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Soma's made by the guys who did Amnesia, which is
Okay.
Frictional Games. Is that who that is? Yeah, this is a really spooky sci-fi game, but I think more importantly than it being a scary game, because it's got its monsters and sneaking around stuff, but you're solving a lot of puzzles in computer systems, you're interacting with UIs in kind of interesting ways. A lot of the computers work like the Doom 3 computers did, where you have a bunch of stuff on the screen, and when you highlight it, you can actually focus on it and touch on touchpads. But it deals with consciousness, and there's a lot of philosophy in this game about like what does it mean to have a consciousness, and can you be split into two entities. Without spoiling a whole bunch of this game, because some of you go to play it, it's got a couple of really good twists, and I think it's one of the best games of the year.
Well,
story alone, I think this is probably one of my top 3 games.
It's for me. I haven't played it, but it's definitely one that I had a huge interest in. I like the spooky games, and from what I've seen of it, it does look like I would really want to play it for sure.
Yeah, it's on my list of games that I've been meaning to try, but haven't.
What about the cat? What does the cat think?
What do you think, buddy? He was trying to get under the desk, and I didn't let that happen. So.
Okay.
I'm willing to leave it on there for now, at least.
For now,
Yeah.
I think this has to stay on the list.
I mean, until Super Mario Maker gets cut off there.
I'm gonna be so butthurt. That's like seriously, that's like probably my top 3. Super Mario Maker is probably actually my top 3.
Dave, take a
Wow. Okay, buddy, you gotta go.
I'm going for. Oh man, this is getting hard. Only because I haven't played it. I don't own the console. I gotta go Xenoblade Chronicles.
Fuck's sake.
Blade Chronicles?
I cut
Yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles, I played a tiny bit of, and it looks nice enough, but man, it feels dated in a weird way. Like it's got this really clunky sort of JRPG from 15, 20 years ago interface. Like it did nothing for me.
I can't say that I haven't seen anything of it. I have. A buddy of mine had been playing it and streaming it, and I could only watch about 5 minutes of it, and I was like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't watch this.
I just started playing it.
That bad, eh?
I got it for Christmas. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's really, really good. I think it's a decent depth. It's got an open world. The graphics feel a little bit dated, but
Hmm.
I didn't feel that the control style or the layout was really dated. I'm not a big fan of having to utilize the tablet for certain things,
Right. Now, do you
but
think that the game fails because the consoles really suck? Like, if that
um,
was a PS4 title, like, is the Wii U holding that title back?
I mean, maybe I'm just a sucker for the actual style. That sort of like, it takes me right back to like Dreamcast, Fantasy Star, as far as visually,
Yeah.
um, character design, stuff like that. The actual game itself, as far as like the world and stuff, it's huge. It's crazy good looking. Like the whole visual aspect of the world is. I don't know. I've been playing it lately, and I'm just the more I play, the more into it I'm getting. If
It's like
I
it's
like, oh no, I don't want to put it. If I'm like, if I put it off for a bit, I won't want to play it. But when I start playing it, I can't stop playing it.
I think that keeps it on the list for now. Then.
yeah, that
Yeah,
definitely. I mean,
I'll chime in. I've got probably 8 to 10 hours buried into this. I kind of feel the
Mhm.
same way Dan does. When I pick it up and play it, I really like what I'm playing, but I agree with Greg to the fact that it feels dated in certain places. I kind of like the tablet integration stuff they have, the map system and everything's tied into that. You can do a lot of the quick travel from the tablet. Um, but it feels in a year of open world 100-hour games that this is one that may just not make the cut for me in the long run.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Just a fatigue that has set in for me, but I mean, it still sounds like it stays on the list for now.
For now. Um,
I tried.
it's fair. F1 2015. This has why?
I can't believe you guys let it stay on the
Why
list
is
this
it there?
long. To be honest.
That's why I took it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was an easy hit.
Yeah, really. I could see this not staying on the list in this group, but me personally, this is one of my top 5 games of the year.
I
I'm
need
a
to
big
play
F1
this.
fan.
Yeah,
Been a big F1 fan for a long time.
I really wish I could defend you with this, Greg. I wish so bad I could, but I haven't played it. Because I'm a huge,
and that's
huge
cool.
F1 guy too. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I didn't see this lasting, but I had to put it on here because I'm a huge F1 fan, and when Codemasters took over the F1 series, they the game was really great, but it was really great, I think, because there hadn't been a really great F1 game in a long time.
Yeah.
And then I kind of watched the series degrade as every yearly sports games do, to the point where the 2014 game, which wasn't on the current consoles, it was on the previous generation, was literally a reskin of the previous game. They didn't make any improvements. They didn't do anything. 2015 is the first one that came out on the current consoles, and it's a little low on features, but the gameplay itself is incredible. It
so what
controls the way I want an F1 game to control.
makes it stand out other than the F1 racing and Project Cars or Forza 6 at that point? Is it just strictly the gameplay? Like, is it that much better, head and shoulders?
I would say that the F1 racing in Forza 6 and Project Cars don't come near this. Because it's a more complete package. It's a Formula 1 game. And there's more that goes along with that than just the feel. The feel is great, but I mean, I find that if you follow the series,
I do.
you're getting, like with Forza 6 or with Project Cars, you're dabbling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In F1, in a sort of one size fits all physics setup, whereas F1 is built as an F1 game, and plus you're getting like the full race weekends, and you're getting the tire strategy and the wear, and you're just getting everything that goes with it. You're getting all the tracks, and you're getting all the drivers, and
Yeah,
Okay. Like you're focused on that one discipline.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably safe to say that this is like the best F1 overall for F1
Exactly.
fans. But does it break down those sort of barriers into?
I could not successfully argue that it's better than 8 other games on this list. I couldn't do that. But I put it in there because for me personally, one of my favorite games of the year.
Yeah,
But
like
this is
NHL
what I
would
was
be one
looking
of
for.
my favorite games
Yeah,
of
exactly.
2015, but it's not a top 10 for overall.
But yeah, I couldn't with a straight face say that it's definitely better for everyone than at least 8 other games on this list. So I'm happy to have it taken off. I'll save my my veto for something more important.
Merriman.
Okay.
So unhappy that it was taken off.
It's okay. You make an argument about a game that I think I would never even consider playing because I'm not a racing game kind of guy.
Right.
Do it.
But I think I'd try it. On that note, what about Forza 6, you guys?
Nope.
Best game of the year.
I didn't
It
touch
stays.
it.
Get out of here.
I didn't touch it. No, yeah, I was just playing Horizon.
Oh, Horizon.
Horizon and Forza. That's not the same.
No, they're two different games.
They're
No,
two
but-
completely different animals.
But
Yeah.
I couldn't be bothered to get Forza 6 because of that. I was just still playing.
I spent a lot of time playing Forza 3, more time than I care to admit playing Forza 4. Forza 5 left a really bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I've been tempted. I've had it in my hand probably 4 or 5 times at EB and just went, nope, I'm not doing
I'll
it.
tell you what. Knowing what a big fan you were of 3 and 4, you should go buy 6.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
6 is the best one they've released.
Yeah.
Okay, but Forza for me is like some people will play the career and like love the career.
Mhm.
For me, I'm all about like let's get a group of guys, let's go bump on the track and get mad at cuss each other out, and like you try to play it seriously for like one lap, and then it turns into someone takes a pit maneuver, and then someone's like, oh, I got you. But it's a lot of fun that way. But there's the customization in 3 and 4, the marketplace in Forza 3 and 4 was amazing. And that was all thrown out the window. It's like they just took a list of all the good things in Forza 3 and 4, shook it up, and went, "Fuck you."
You know why?
French,
I'll tell you. This is my theory on how that went, and it's because
I probably should have the same theory.
the Xbox One was released a year earlier than it was supposed to be.
Well,
It was literally like they released it a year earlier than they planned on based on the PS4, and Forza 5 was going to be a launch game. So when the Xbox One got pushed up a year, Forza 5 got pushed up a year.
Yeah.
but to me,
So what we got was a skeleton of a game.
Okay, so
right. I feel like a guy in a suit.
But let's bring this back because we're talking about a game that was released at launch for that system. Let's talk about Forza 6.
What I'm saying is that Forza 6, if you take the progression, like you played a lot of Forza games. I don't know if you played 2, but 3 was great, 4 was better.
Yep.
6 is what 5 was supposed to be. 6 is the next step. 6 was the next evolution of that series.
It's a complete game, then, is what you're saying.
It's a complete game. The amount of, like, one of the biggest problems with 5 was the level of content, both the number of tracks and the number of cars. Not a problem here.
Yeah.
But now here's my other beef with Forza.
Mhm.
Is that back in the day you bought a game and you got the cars that were supposed to be in the game. In Forza 4 they started with this a little more and more, going, all right, here's the cars that should have been in, but we're going to charge you $10 extra for these. Oh wait, we've got some more. We're going to put those in too, but we're going to charge you for it. Like they started microtransaction me to death. Like is that a factor still in Forza 6, or is that back like, okay, here's a lot of cars, enjoy them?
You get a ton of cars. They're still selling more cars.
Yeah. I think
But you get a ton of cars.
Yeah, the game launched, I think the number, if I remember correctly, is like 450 cars.
Yeah.
Wow.
That you
You
get
more
on
than
disc. Sorry?
Do you need more than that?
Yeah, that's a lot of cars.
Oh, that's a lot. Because I found I hated the system in Forza 5 where it's like half the time you felt like you didn't have the right car and you had to download it. Everything was a DLC that you wanted to
And
race.
Forza 5 was really bad for that, and they were really bad for nickel and diming you as well. And Forza 6, those systems are still there, but you start off with a gigantic library, and I've never spent a single dime on top of what the cost of the game was. I'm flush with cash at all times.
Mhm.
Like, no matter what series I go into, no matter what race I want to race online, if I need $1 million car, I can just go buy it. Like, they've still got that microtransaction bullshit you don't like, but they went back to the user friendliness that everybody loved about 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Where you're getting tons of money for everything. And
What about
the online options, just so you know, I mean, they've got online leagues now that are just set that way, but the options you have to set up a race yourself, you have so much control over so many elements that you can set it exactly the way you want it to be.
I'm putting this as a key.
that? Sounds like it's been successfully defended. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to go buy it, man. If you like war, you've got to go buy it.
Yeah, you've kind of got my arm twisted in that direction on my way home from work tomorrow, actually. Which means I have to buy Live again. Ugh. Ugh.
Okay, so we're looking at we have 17 titles on the list right now. Do we
I
want
haven't
to
even
talk
put
about
them
the
in
ones
any
that
order yet.
do we want to aim at the ones we haven't yet, and try to knock some of these other ones out?
Yeah, I think we should probably continue to do that. I
Yeah.
think we're doing pretty good.
Can I shout one out?
Yeah.
City Skylines.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Ugh.
I mean, it's the real Sim City.
It's what SimCity should have been.
I gotta play this.
I can't see it being cut.
I'm sure it's great, but as a huge SimCity fan, they didn't make a big enough impression on me to go get it or play it.
Really? Oh my god.
Like, it seems like a really solid world builder, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's the traffic systems alone make it worth it. Like, that's almost a whole
traffic system.
No, but I mean, in like this.
No, I'm agreeing with you. Like, the traffic system in the last SimCity was such a nightmare.
Atrocious. And I mean, the mod support is huge on its own. And it's so easy to go into Steam and just go, oh, look through the catalogs. It's like, oh, I can make some of my convenience stores at McDonald's. All right. I can make some UPS trucks. All right. And I mean, maybe some people don't care about that, but if you're into that kind of a game, stuff like that, man, it adds to the experience a lot. And it's something that you can sit down and play for 20 minutes and go, holy shoot, it's 4 hours ago. The replay value.
City.
Yep, and the replay value is there, and it's just calming. Like it can be hugely frustrating when something like goes wrong because you've made some stupid mistake, but you can pull back from that. It's not like your game was then ruined and you had to go load and save. You can recover from just about anything. Yeah, no, I would hate to see that stripped of the top 10. I hate to say it, but you know. And I think for such a reasonable price, for the value you get out of that game, I can't toss that one myself.
I'm sold. I think it stays on there for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For now. Okay.
Problem is we've got a lot of ones that are staying on there for now.
Okay, now can I jump out at one?
Yep.
Now I know you got it, but when me and you talked about it, it was sort of a little bit. You were sort of, I don't know if I should have got this, and that's Until Dawn.
Right.
I didn't play it myself personally. It looked okay. It looked like a better movie.
Yep.
And I enjoyed watching it on stream, but
Okay, so I will spin and defend this title. This is in my top 10 this year. I burned through Until Dawn within a couple of days. It's not a long game, but I think it is one of the best crafted horror experiences that's been on a console ever. It's not jump scares everywhere, but it feels like, you can save or kill every character in that game.
Yeah.
And that's.
I've been threatening to play it for a long time. It looks really good.
It is one of the nicest looking games I've played this year. I think script-wise and writing, it's one of the best written games this year, but it catches the feel of like the I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream, like those movies that I didn't think would translate well. And when it came out, I was like, I don't know if I should have got this. I absolutely agree with you. And by the time I got to the end of that experience, I was like, I'm so glad I played this. I'm going to do it again. And I've played that game through 3 times now.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Wow, that's a lot of replay for a game.
For what is a 8-hour experience, maybe. There's a lot of it's the butterfly effect. You can feel your choices actually have an impact on what's going on in the world, and yeah, it looks great.
I kind of want to try it now.
I would watch it more.
I'm okay to have this come off the list if I'm the only person fighting for it, because in my top 10. But this is a solid game that I think even Sony flew it under the radar. There was no press for this game when it came out, and it
I
came
would
out paired with
sorry,
Metal Gear, right? Sorry, Greg.
I would say that for what you're saying about this game, and from what I've heard a lot of other people say, I mean, over at Player One, this was one of CJ's top 5. I would say that I would rather discuss Ori and the Blind Forest being taken off the list before we take Until Dawn off the list.
Yeah,
Cool.
I could agree with that. I haven't played that one, but from what I've seen, it looks like an absolutely gorgeous game. Looks fantastic, but yeah, I don't know if it's anybody's top 10.
Can't defend Ori. Again,
No.
like Dave, I've heard plenty of nice things about it,
Yeah.
but I haven't played it. So
Yeah.
I've honestly never played it either, but that's just the thing. Like, that game is right up my alley, and it looks gorgeous, and I just couldn't be bothered to play it.
So it's a missed one for all of us this year, I think.
Yeah.
Which will exclude it from our nice little list, but yeah.
Christ, we're only down to 16.
Yeah.
Oh. Once Austin figures out how to delete something, there we go.
Once we figure. Greg, can we talk about how awesome Splatoon is?
You know what? I can't.
What?
I can't.
Oh.
My God,
I
you were
liked
raised
that
the whole
game. I
Splatoon.
liked that game for about 10 minutes.
Wow.
Wow.
I liked everything about it. And my kids enjoyed it for a little while, and we all lost interest in it within a week.
I think it's the best shooter that came out this year.
Better than Star Wars Battlefront?
Yep. I'll play Splatoon for a longer session than I will Star Wars Battlefront.
I have returned. What did I
Also, the
miss?
Miiverse impact on Splatoon. Dan, you're going to argue about Splatoon with me, right?
Miiverse.
I mean, like how so? Like I don't.
Like how awesome Splatoon is?
I mean, it looks cool. It's no Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare.
Oh my God.
It's
Hey, that was a lot of fun.
well, no, I'm 100% sincere when I say that. Like
Yeah.
that was like probably one of my favorite games. That was 2014, wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So I don't want to talk too much about it because it's kind of irrelevant. But yeah, it wasn't one of those. But I mean, that's what it came across as. Another one of the style, sort of really fun, really good sort of shooters that you didn't have to worry about the same crowds that you would get on Black Ops 3.
That I will say,
What do you
there were a lot of good things about it. One was the no voice chat. I also love how short the matches are,
Short
and
matches.
that it's not just killing each other; it's actually doing something different than just killing each other.
I think there's a couple things to highlight, and some of them are good and some of them are bad. I think the load times in that game are terrible. But style points, I don't think anything touches it this year. From the music to the artwork to just the way everything interacts. When they do the what's the weekend thing where they have the two teams? Splatfest? Is that what they call that?
Yeah.
Yeah, when they do the Splatfest thing and you log into the lobby and there's the two big trucks with the stereos and they're blasting music just for that weekend and the teams are all kind of like they make it an event, and I think that's pretty cool. It's got a really decent single player campaign that it really didn't need to have, and hey, Nintendo did online something correctly for a company.
That's what's. I think that was what was so off-putting about that game for me, was that it was a multiplayer game that Nintendo was involved in.
Yeah.
And for me, that's been not the greatest thing ever. So, like, I remember trying to play Super Mario Strikers on the Wii and like entering these like 20 character codes and stuff, and it's still not doing anything.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was kind of like a little gun shy to pick that up, and I felt like I'd get bored of it after just a couple minutes. But
I jumped to the defense of Splatoon before Battlefront. Is that what you guys were saying? Before I get
Well,
back?
I mean, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it too, because I didn't play a ton of Splatoon, but we still got Xenoblade on the list. We've still got Soma on the list. We still got Star Wars on the list.
Still
I
have
mean,
City Skylines on this list.
is it
I
not
think
better than
Splatoon
those?
kicks City Skylines right off this list. There's no way.
It's gotta go.
yeah, 3 against 1. That's fine.
I mean, I'm sure it's a cool city builder, but
I just added it to my wish list on Steam.
You should definitely pick it up. It's a great pickup.
Yeah, I'll have to play it.
Okay. So we're gonna do this.
I think we should both go.
Do you just
Oh, yeah,
My
no, I
heart skipped a
did that
little
on
did
purpose.
you
But,
just sneak Witcher 3 on there?
Yeah.
Listen, are we really gonna talk about anybody sneaking Witcher 3 into the top 10
Just
games of the year?
delete cities, will you?
I'll do it. Fine.
No, it's gone.
Jesus.
All right. Well, okay. Let's talk about Battlefront then.
We got 5 games to cut off this list.
Yeah. Let's talk about Battlefront. I think it's one of the prettiest games of the year.
Agreed.
Yeah, it looks good.
It was what
Looks
I
good.
Battlefront for me was what I expected. Like when they had next gen gaming was coming at you. That's what I was expecting. I was like all the games to be as polished as Battlefront. I think the multiplayer party system is not the best ever. But the gameplay itself, I think is great. There's a big variety of different types of game modes that are acceptable to play. Some people complain that it's limited in terms of weapons. There's supposed to be a lot of maps coming out for it though, a lot of support throughout the next year or so. I don't know. I feel like it's a good value. I don't think people always say it's comparable to Battlefield, which I guess sure it's the same kind of engine, but I feel like I can pick up Battlefront.
See, that's the thing.
I feel like I can
engine
pick up
is where it
Battlefront and
ends.
play. I feel like I can pick up Battlefront and easily play for a while and not care. If I'm playing Call of Duty, I'm ready to crack my controller in half and go. But with Battlefront, it's I just got brutalized, but oh well, I'm Darth Vader now.
I agree with you. That's exactly the same thing for me. Sorry, not to cut you off there, Dan. But, that's the Battlefield comparison drives me nuts because it's the same type of game, but it's not the same game as Battlefield. And for exactly the reason you're talking about, I can pick that up, I can get into a match really quick, and have a ton of fun without being very good at shooters.
And it presses all the nice little nostalgia buttons and happy places with the sounds, and
Okay, so I have a question for you guys who or sort of enjoyed it or whatever. If you had the choice and you had 20 people right now, would you go play Battlefront or would you go back to one of the older ones? The second one.
I would play Battlefront.
I can't remember the last. I remember Battlefront 2, but it's not a pleasant experience.
See, to me, I loved the older ones. I thought they were a lot more enjoyable, and I didn't really get what I thought I was getting.
Really?
That's fair. I've heard that before too.
I mean, they are sort of similar, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not that I thought it was bad, but they could have had a really cool campaign experience there, and they just didn't. The opportunity was there. They've got so much content for a campaign that it's just disgusting.
But see, I mean, to me, I bought it for the multiplayer. I didn't even factor it. Same as Call of Duty, I buy it for the multiplayer. I don't buy it for the campaign. I know what you're saying, but I'd rather them get it out and play it.
I think the scary thing about this is we have a game that came out in time with the movies, basically.
Yeah.
And they're saying, hey, this is a $80 title at retail, plus there's a $50 season pass. And
The season pass even more expensive than that, isn't it?
Well, it's $50 US. So
$300 Canadian.
Yeah.
Ouch.
It won't bring you breakfast. But the concept there is they said, hey, there's a season pass coming, but they didn't detail what was going to be in the season pass.
I hate that.
I hate it so much. So it's an unknown quantity of I like this game enough to be like Moser said, I'll pop it in, I'll play for an hour and go, okay, I'm ready to play something else, but I don't feel frustrated by it. I'm like, okay, I'm having fun listening to the sounds of the AT-ATs walk by me, and
But that for me is huge in terms of a shooter. If you can play a shooter with your friends and not feel like you should check your blood pressure, I feel like that's a big win.
Two other things too. I mean, what Moser said earlier, it's pressing all the nostalgia buttons, exactly like what you said. When you hear the AT-AT stomping down, that's just I'm a kid again, right?
Yep.
But this is, I don't know if this makes it a good game or a bad game, but one of the things that not having played a bunch of shooters more recently, man, couch multiplayer, even though it's only 2 people, and even though you have to play offline games, huge. for me, and just because my son plays this with me, and he absolutely adores it as well, and we have a ton of fun playing it together.
As far
But
as
it
like
is limiting.
as far as like a stress-free sort of shooter experience goes, though, I would again lean back more towards Splatoon, and personally, being like, nah, Battlefront, okay, cool, but that sort of stress-free. I want to go to shooter. I want to play a shooter, and I don't want to have to worry about some squeaker screaming profanities in my ear nonstop.
I just want to mention that I think of all the things that I like about Battlefront, I hate the way the space combat works, or the flight system is.
Yeah.
Yeah, flight system's rough.
It's not good. And there's a lot of stuff where, like the Hoth map has the turrets, and they're all over the place, and you get sniped across the map with them. There seems to be some design choices there, but again, it's one of those games where you just hit square again and you're back in the action. So
Yeah.
I think this is a title that has kind of been shunned by a lot of people just for the fact that it didn't review so well out of the gate. But I think while I'm not pressed to jump in every night and play Battlefront, like when I sit down and play it, I enjoy what I play. I don't think this doesn't make my top 10 for the year though.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I like the fact that I own it, just because if I feel like playing it, it's there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I mean, even those of us who are defending it are waffling enough that I can't see saying it has to stay here for a top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Star
Woohoo,
Wars.
down to 14.
Pew, pew.
We're getting there.
There's one that didn't make the list that I want to talk about in a second, and I think it's because we were late adopting it. That's Rainbow Six Siege.
Okay.
I mean, we've been playing it the last little while. I only picked it up recently. I know, Austin, you only picked it up recently. And it was out late in the year. And I mean, it was kind of buried in that big storm of like, oh look, there's 1,000 AAA titles all at once. Play them.
Yeah.
And we've been in kind of a famine for that over the past while. So I mean, but it's more realistic. It's more technical. It's more squad based. Like you actually have to interact with the people you're playing with. I was sad to not see it on the list, and I meant to add it, and I didn't. But what does everyone else think about that? I mean, I find it's a great value.
I didn't play it.
Yeah.
I
haven't
didn't.
played it.
Man, I like the destructible world puts you on edge. Like in a traditional shooter, if you're behind a wall, you feel pretty safe. I feel like like I got my gun, there's other guys, but next thing you know, you're getting shot through the wall, and it actually like bullets work. You don't have to shoot somebody 30 times.
No, I don't want to. I don't want. I haven't played it that much, but that to me just screams Bad Company, and we did this a long time ago. You know what I mean? And not to sort of downplay that it's the game itself is cool because it looks cool, but
I mean, I agree that Battlefield Bad Company 2 is one of the best Battlefield games ever made. They've never got that back, but this has the tactical element where you're not just running, gunning, like continually mashing the shoot button. Like there's so many different ways to attack a problem and problem solve rather than just mash the shoot button. And with the destructible element, and there's so many, like you can go through the roof, you can go through the floors, you can come through the ceiling. But you never feel safe, and that's kind of cool.
I did want to play it when I was watching you guys stream it, but
I think this is a cool game that definitely has garnered my attention for the last couple of weeks. I want to put this out that when this was an $80 game, I had no interest in playing it, but when the price drops came for Boxing Day sales, it was like, yeah, okay, I'll put it in my shopping cart and see how it is. This is not a game, if I bought this and none of my circle of friends had it, wouldn't be playing it still. The online so
Did we crash?
Oh.
Did we lose Austin?
Oh,
Oh.
We're back.
Oh, we're back.
Austin's got the crazy fingers. He must have hit a button or something.
So you guys can hear me? We're good?
Yeah.
Still here?
We're all good.
You lost. Oh, okay.
So I don't think this is I don't think Rainbow Six is a top 10 game. I think it's a really good game that came out this year.
Honorable mention.
But I think like Battlefront, for a game that says, hey, here's a game with a $40 Canadian DLC bundle that's 2 packs sometime in the next year. This came out in time to beat The Division by 6 months. and I think Ubisoft is gunning for everybody to get the Division, and I don't think that Rainbow Six is the full package that it should have been.
Fair.
That
Yeah.
being said, I think I like the gunplay. I like the tactical stuff. It's kind of thin in terms of game mode.
Fair.
Fun game.
Dun dun
Mhm.
dun.
Mm-hmm. So, like, we're at 14. Are there any more on there that we feel like we need to knock off, or should we just start like ranking these? Like,
I'm
you want to keep
willing.
going until we've knocked 4 more games off this list?
I'm willing to concede Dying Light off of this list.
I'm willing to
What about
allow you to concede
Bloodborne?
Dying. I would not fight for Bloodborne, but I know there are people who are crazy fans of that game.
I wouldn't fight for Bloodborne, but I mean, like I said, like you said, you know, there are people who are just fanatical about that game. So
I've played it. I do own it. I put some fair amount of time into it. I enjoy it. It makes me want to throw my controller a lot and rip my hair out. And for that, I love it.
in a good way.
But I honestly, I wouldn't put it on my top 10 for the year. I enjoy it thoroughly, and I do want to go back to it. But yeah, for me, it wouldn't be on my top 10.
Let's kill it.
Yep,
Kill it.
I'm okay with that. I think there's some really neat lore in that game, and they've made some changes with the way. I don't know if you guys have seen the videos about this stuff, but it's all. There's the one stat in that game it's like insight, and the more insight you have, the more you start to learn about the Lovecraftian nonsense that controls that world.
I played a bunch of it, and I loved everything about it except the hard as balls gameplay, which I know is what people like about those series, like that in Dark Souls.
Yep.
And all I find myself doing is wishing that I didn't have to deal with that to enjoy the rest of the game.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll remove Dying Light as well. I think
Look at that, we're down to 12.
down to 12.
Look at that.
So until dawn, we want to go.
We haven't talked about Witcher 3 or Metal Gear. I assume we don't need to talk about Rocket League.
Yeah,
in this group.
no. Rocket
No.
League belongs in the
Rocket
top
League belongs.
3, in my opinion.
Top 3, at least. Yeah.
Yep, we're gonna leave Rocket League on this list. No worries there. Okay, let's talk about Witcher 3.
With for me, it's in my top 5, if not even more. The other two Witchers, I dabbled in them. They never really grabbed me. I'm not really sure why, but for some reason 3 just took its hooks and just impaled me, and I was away from it for a little while, and just the other day I put it back in to refresh my memory, and I was like, oh, it's happening again, and I've fallen right back in it. It's gorgeous. It looks so good. The combat is so much fun. To me, it's a no-brainer for me. It's top 5. Yep, I'd rank it higher. I was just consumed.
See,
It's,
I have the other experience with that. I was given a free copy of the game. I got it installed, got up and playing it, and I was just like, I don't get the hype. I mean, it was okay, but I didn't get the hype. And I mean, the whole internet was screaming about the game, but for me, everyone has different opinions. I understand that, but it feels like so many other games.
I feel like I can't touch it until I've played 1 and 2. And that may be complete opposite. Like, you may not need it, but for some reason, whenever it's a third game, I'm always like, I have to play 1 and 2. I have to do it.
I felt that way too. Austin told me, just forget it. Skip it and install it and do it. And I did it, and I was like, meh.
There's a 3. I can't forget it.
I think I actually uninstalled it, which I never do. I have games on there from 2012 or 13 when I first built the computer. No, later than that. That I've played once or twice, and I actually uninstalled the game. I was like, I'm never going to play this again.
I'm like not even like David. I haven't even casually witched in the past, and the game did the same thing for me. Like I think the thing like I mentioned it earlier, like the presentation was huge, but the thing I find that I like more than anything about that game is that doing the side quests I find is just as interesting as doing the main story.
Oh, for sure.
The world is
Yes.
just so well realized, and the way that they've written it, doing the side quests actually enhances the game, like even story-wise, where you don't find that. Like looking at Metal Gear Solid 5, which is one of my favorite games of the year as well, the side quests don't enhance that game at all. They're just little missions. I mean, they do it to
You're
a
gaining
point.
equipment in that then turns into.
Okay, but that's the
bonuses.
thing. You're gaining equipment, you're gaining gear, but that's not the same way that they work in The Witcher 3 as far as I'm
that's fair.
concerned. Like
That's
The Witcher
fair.
3, it serves to make the world feel more full, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in like Metal Gear, it's just you're going out and doing missions to get gear, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but to me, The Witcher is just like a complete experience, and I had no experience with 1 or 2, and I think it was actually Austin that said the same thing to me, where it's like, don't worry about not having played the first 2, dive into this, and I'm so glad that I did, because it's like one of my top 2 games of the year.
Yeah, I feel, to me, I think The Witcher 3 is everything the first one and the second one really wanted to be. And I found, like, the first 2, I found the combat too clunky for the most part. Like, I enjoyed the lore, but I never really got too far into them. And 3 just was so seamless with everything and the combat, and it's still intricate combat, and there's different weapons for different monsters or enemy types, and so it still has a lot of depth to the combat, but it's so much more approachable. And yeah, like it's so
You
good.
can put that game on easy mode, like the easiest difficulty setting, and burn through the combat and get all the story too. That's the other cool thing about this.
Yeah.
Dave's point is salient that there's so much depth to that because you're toggling between spells and then potions to use and oils on your swords and different types of swords. You can put that on easy and mash square or X to get through the combat, and then next thing you know, you're just on to the next conversation piece. If that's what you want to see the story, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I played The Witcher when it came out on PC, and then it kind of fell off for me because other games came up, and then I got a copy for the PS4 just recently, and I'm kind of back to where I am. I'm just going through the Bloody Baron stuff again.
Oh my God, so good.
It is, yeah.
Like, there's no. It's hard to say exactly. I don't want to burn through a bunch of the story stuff, but I feel invested in the characters, particularly in Geralt. But I think there's no way that this does not exist on a top 10 list this year. This has to be on everybody's top 10 list. It's
absolutely agree.
It's that good of a game.
It has to be on everybody's top 5 list.
And that being said, it took them 16 patches to fix this game. And the fact that you still have an option when you go into the settings for the game to have 2 different movement modes is kind of scary. But it also shows that CD
I wonder if I just tried before. Yeah, I wonder if I just tried it before the right patches. I don't know.
Well, and that's on the PC, man. It was exactly like that because I couldn't play it after a while. It was like I cannot do this. My computer's not handling it well. Plus, the game is just all over the place. Playing it now on the PS4 in the state that it's in, very happy. So, I think Witcher 3 obviously belongs.
And I had it on the PS. I had it on the PC. Maybe consoles better.
Yeah, maybe. Also, how pretty is the sunset in that game?
Oh my God, the game in general is just amazing looking.
Yeah.
Walking through the woods. I've had a couple of days off and just kind of wandering around in the Witcher world, just seeing what I can see, and I always like, wow, this is amazing.
See, like that's just it. I mean, that the game is great to just wander around like that. And I remember doing a side quest at one point where it was just this sort of standard quest where somebody's husband, I think, or husband, I forget which it was, or sister or something, had run off. And it just the way it was written was just like, okay, so you sort of follow the trail, and then it's like something really terrible has happened here. Like this person didn't run off. Like I think they've been murdered. And then you sort of collect these clues, and it's like, oh shit, like this person was killed by a wolf or something, and then you realize it was a werewolf. But you don't really realize that at first. You follow the path, and you get to a cabin, and you're like rooting around in the cabin, and that's when it starts to dawn on you, like whoever lived here is really got some major, like he's really conflicted, and then you realize, oh, he's actually a werewolf, and then you just, for me, it was just like, okay, now what do I do? And I kind of wandered around the cabin, and holy shit, there's like an entire den underneath the cabin, and you go in, and there's the werewolf, and like he's eating something, and it was just an amazing experience. Like when I started that quest alone, I didn't expect it. And I was just totally delighted by everything that happened the whole time.
There's another example of that in the early game when you meet the witch, and she says, "Hey, I need you to go to Fike Island and dispel this."
Yes.
And you go to this tower that is full of rats, and you're like, "What is going on here?" And you pick away by exploring in the tower, and you learn about the terrible experiments that are going on. And then through the course of that, you meet this ghoul, and she's like the one remaining ghost who can still communicate with the living realm. And she describes the scene in which she's murdered so in depth and detail that, she goes, I took a sleeping potion and I woke up and I couldn't move, and I was the only warm piece of meat in the room, and the rats ate me alive and I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what? And then then you find out the rest of the stuff about the tower, and then an hour down the line you're talking to the witch again, and she's like, hey, by the way, did you burn any of the notes or take out the stuff in that laboratory? And you're like, nah, I didn't. And then she's like, oh, interesting. And then she knocks you out after doing her business to you, and she's back at the tower stealing all the notes for profit. Like, what?
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, there's so many threads that last so long in that game.
Yeah.
I'm so lost. I think I'm going to have to do this just to figure it out.
Dude,
I'm sold. I'll try it again.
It's so good. It's so
My
good.
one
I'll try it
issue
again.
with the game was travel.
Travel's a bit of a pain.
That was my only. It was. I mean, it didn't deter me away from wanting to play it, but I just found that was the only thing that I was like, now I gotta go over here, and like I found, I guess, more or less the lack of kind of fast travel.
Yeah, having to fast travel from the signpost is a bit of a pain.
Yeah.
But I think it also forces you to kind of play in the world.
And yeah, because there is so much to explore. Like Greg said, those side quests that you just stumble upon them, and things like that. And sometimes I'll get on a quest and it's just like, no, I want to beeline this quest. I want to get it done, and then I'll do my exploring or something like that. And sometimes it was just a little, frustrating when I just wanted to do that, but it didn't really take away from the game. I understand why that system's there because of the side quests. That's my only one thing with it, but it by no means doesn't deter it from any top list for me. So.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Who wants to talk about Metal Gear?
I have nothing really to talk about other than dirty Konami. Dirty, filthy Konami.
Yeah, I can understand that. But what about, can we talk about D-Dog for a minute? And how awesome D-Dog is? Because if you use quiet to get through that game, you are a sucker. Because you have to listen to her sing to herself for 20 minutes at a time. But you upgrade D-Dog enough, and he gets a tactical set of armor, a face shield, an eye patch, and has a knife that he pulls out, holds it in his teeth, runs up to a guy, knifes him in the throat, and you're like, yeah.
And that is why this game is awesome.
It's so amazing.
It revels in its own ridiculousness.
It sure does.
This is, I spoke of this earlier, this is the one game on this list that I didn't get to play, and it's the top on my list to play from just hearing everybody's stories and seeing how much great buzz that it has been getting, and the ridiculous stories like Austin just told. I wish I had more to defend it. I think it'll stay on the list, but
It being a sequel, how up to date do I have to be? Because I know Metal Gear is
Dude,
pretty
that
on
world
point
is
with like you
so.
have to continue everything.
That
So-
series is so far up its own ass at this
Is
point,
it?
it really doesn't matter.
Is it just ultra convoluted now?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the like if you're talking chronological order, this is the final game before the very first Metal Gear that came out in '87, I think it was.
What?
okay.
This is the final story
Okay.
for the very first Metal Gear.
oh wow.
I guess it's the final prequel, technically.
This is the one that ties in all the PSP games, right?
I
Okay.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To
this
the
is
NES masterpiece.
no the FX masterpiece.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Play
Sorry.
the NES game. Kojima doesn't like that one. Yeah, and for me, it was like it still revels in its craziness, which is great because that's what I want from a Metal Gear game. Although I don't pretend to understand 80% of what the hell they're talking about. But like, I couldn't believe that an open world Metal Gear works so well. Like, I really didn't think it was going to work that well, and like you come in certain sections of this game. I mean, it's kind of fun to just travel around, and then you come to a little outpost, and you know has 3 guys in it maybe, and you take them all out, and you don't actually kill any of them. So you I forget what the name of that balloon is, but you
Fulton them.
Fulton them back to your base, which is
Do
just
like the
ridiculous.
Fulton.
You fun bag.
You
them.
like
fun
I
bag
do
them.
like the Fulton. I wish I could use one of those.
Yeah,
Ooh,
but
you
then
got
like
fun
you
bagged.
get some of the bigger missions where you've got like these really big outposts, and like figuring out a way to like sneak through and just sort of decimate them from without ever getting seen is just awesome. But at the same time, the game works really well as just straight up combat if you want to play it that way. I have a buddy who played through it totally by just running and shooting everyone.
That was a question that I kind of had. It works fine as like a run and gun game
Oh,
if you
hell
used
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
So that's, I guess that's kind of, was it Metal Gear Solid 4? Is that when it sort of kind of started going in that direction?
Yeah,
more?
I think so.
MGS4 had the sequences where you'd come up on like militias fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Bust out an M4 and shoot.
So when are we gonna get this non-lethal playthrough on your channel?
Who, me?
Whoever wants to attempt a
Oh, man.
non-lethal playthrough.
I've attempted it. I can't do
You know,
it.
someone did a non-lethal playthrough in Fallout 4, even though the creator
Yeah,
said it
that's
couldn't be
insane.
done. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's just a whole new level
I
of.
was going to tell you how broken that game is.
So,
But anyway, I would say this has to stay on the list.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is kind of the turning point, which is kind of sad to say that Kojima's left Konami at this point, but
Yeah.
they cut out all the unnecessary codec stuff. The game's got some neat systems that kind of interact with the online. I think the thing I hate the most is the forward operating base system they have, where other players can attack your base and steal your resources.
Mm-hmm.
That is really frustrating when you've been logged out for 3 days. You come back in and you've lost a ton of stuff. But to get through the main game, stealth your way through until things go crazy. Bust out a big gun and start shooting dudes. It's great, and it's got big dumb robots and enough fan service to the other games that I think it's definitely a contender for best Metal Gear game of all time. And I will fight you about the MSX version, Greg. That's just the way it is.
No, I'm just saying. That's the creator talking, not me.
And look what the creator talking got him.
Yeah, true.
Ooh.
Fair enough.
Sorry, I had.
A job at Sony.
Savage.
Sony.
Stuck at Sony.
Savage.
Okay, so we are at 12 games.
All right.
I'm going to read these out real quick. Crypt of the Necrodancer, Witcher 3, Splatoon, Rocket League, Until Dawn, Metal Gear Solid 5, Super Mario Maker, Soma, Fallout 4, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Forza 6.
Let's just put Witcher, Rocket League, Metal Gear, Tomb Raider, and either Forza or Fallout up in the top 5 positions, and then figure out the order.
Honestly, at this stage, I don't think Fallout belongs on this list.
I'm with you.
Oh,
What?
man,
I don't know
that's
those
so
Xenoblade
hard.
are still on there.
There are 11 other games in this list that I would rather play more of than Fallout at this stage.
There are 12 other games. And the games.
And I know Dan spent a lot of time building and unlocking and building and unlocking and unlocking and playing in the console and Fallout, right, Dan?
I did, yeah. I was doing that. I was doing all that phasing with the whole building stuff, trying to figure out how to phase fences together and stuff like that, so there was no cracks. It was a seamless. I need a seamless space. You can't peek through and see me. No, I totally did that. I was like, I made this seamless space so you couldn't even see through like cracks in the walls or anything. You can't see me. But I mean, I don't know if I'd be willing to let that go before Xenoblade. I haven't played enough Xenoblade. Like Xenoblade, some of the stuff that I've seen on Xenoblade has sort of put me in a position where I'm like, holy crap, mechs killing giant dinosaurs. I haven't gotten there yet, so I can't say officially how good it is. But if you take a look at it, you'll realize how quickly, it's good. Mechs and dinosaurs.
I think the two of us being the people that have played this game at this point, I'm willing to concede Xenoblade off the list.
I'd be willing to do it, but that being said, I encourage you guys who do have it, go farther in it, because you'll be like blown away at some of the stuff that you'll end up running into.
Okay.
Fair enough.
We're at 11.
11.
Kill one more.
Ooh.
Don't you dare look at Mario Maker that way. I see how you're looking.
We all know we're not
think
getting
it's
Mario
got-
Maker off the
I
list.
see you giving Mario Maker the stink eye.
I am. I'm giving it right now.
That's not happening. It's got to be there.
Wow, this is.
It's getting tough.
You know what? You guys have told me plenty of what Soma is, and I've come around full swing. And I'd like to ask, what is Soma?
It's the sequel to Firewatch.
It's not on the list. It's not on the list.
Yeah. Let me run through Soma again.
Right now? Damn.
Is it like I think you said it was like your top 5? Like
it is my top 3.
Top 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so where's Crypt of the Necromancer?
That's exactly where I was going to go. Yeah.
Crypt is definitely lower in the scale. It's not top 5 for me. And I'd be more willing to fight for Soma than I would for Crypt of the Necromancer.
Would you? How do you feel now? I don't know. I don't know Soma, so I can't.
Sure.
Obviously, make that same thing. But yeah, I don't know.
It's one of those games
I don't know.
that is.
The two that pop. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say it's one of those games that is story-wise one of the most complete experiences I've played all year, and it's one of those games where I've seen the interviews with the developer saying, we want you to like put this game down and then like think about it, and when you're in bed at night be like, that's really crazy that's the concept of this game. I have had sleepless nights because of just thinking about the concepts.
It's deep.
It's deep.
It's official. We're getting you a cat, bro.
It's not. Seriously, this game it's got an effective story, and yeah. I mean,
I haven't played it, but if Austin feels that strongly about it,
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm like, if he feels that strongly about it, I need to take my ass and play it.
Yeah. Because Austin doesn't like things just to like them, so I respect that.
The two things now, obviously, it's mostly because I haven't really played a lot of them. The two ones that stick out to me on this list, and again, this is just my opinion, is because again, Soma because I didn't really have any time with it or anything like that. The other one was Until Dawn, and I know you guys love that game, but I don't know. I just watching it. I think watching it was enough for me personally. I think you to watch it and get sort of the same experience out of it that, or I don't know, not more so than any of the other ones on the list.
I'm not sure. I think if you and I are talking about a very similar pool of games at this point between Crypt and Until Dawn and Soma, like I'd be willing to shave Crypt of the Necrodancer off.
I can forfeit that Crypt wouldn't necessarily be in there, but I have no
I can't
plans
see-
to do
it's
it.
more
on
I
the
can't
other
see-
ones.
Best
I can't see Crypt being top 10.
Top 10. Yeah.
It was one of the best
can't see
indie
it.
games of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those games that everybody should play. But I'd be willing to say there's 10 other games here that I'd be willing to rank in a list without Crypt of the Necrodancer being there.
Hmm.
If this was a game music of the year, like Crypt of the Necrodancer would be at the top.
Yeah, but Hotline Miami 2 had an amazing soundtrack as well. So does Rocket League.
But Undertale has a great soundtrack.
See, look, let's make the list.
I'd be
Let's
willing
not make
to.
the
I think
On the next podcast.
Crypt of the Necrodancer. I'd be willing to say that.
Like it's
Despite
right.
the fact that there's a lot of good games on there, so I mean it's going to be hard to compete
On the
against
cusp.
stuff like Rocket League and Fallout 4 and Splatoon,
Rocket
and
League.
Witcher and that sort of stuff. So.
Rocket League's my vote for Game of the Year, which is surprising even to me.
You know what? I'd hate to jump right to my end result, but I think I'm feeling similar to that. I'm feeling the same way.
The more I think about it,
Okay,
That's 10.
That's 10,
we have 10.
and then there were 10.
Who's typing more things into this list?
Don't
Are you putting Ark in there for Dinosaur
No.
Poop Mosier?
We're 45 minutes away from my bedtime. Let's do this
Ark,
thing.
We're
Yeah.
gonna be done here.
Let's just
Oh
do
my
it.
god. Way past my bedtime.
Let's talk about what games should be in 10th place here.
Oh, in 10th place?
Yeah, I'm gonna make this real messy.
I think the right one's there now.
What is the
Oh,
worst
that
game on this
hurts.
list?
Oh no.
There's no way Forza stays in 10th place.
Stab in my heart.
No. I think you got to look at if you're talking about what's there now, I would personally put Fallout 4 underneath it. That's just me.
Yeah, I think
I
Fallout
would
4
put
is.
Metal Gear Solid 5 underneath it.
Mario Maker underneath it for
I would
sure.
put Mario Maker underneath it.
Yeah.
Mario Maker
I would
would-
even put
for me is
Splatoon
the
underneath
lowest.
it.
Really?
Yep. That's just me.
How many hours
No.
in do you have, roughly?
Forza?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, okay. In the top 5 games we did this year on Player One, this was my number 1. So,
Wow.
for what it's worth. I have a ton of hours into this. I'm to the point that I'm running the endurance races.
Really?
Yeah.
So, guys, I put a game into 10th place here. That I think because
I think that's fair.
I think that's a fair spot for
Sure.
what it
I
is.
can't fight that.
Yep. Let's okay. Let's go around the horn and let's see whose number 1 game is in this list.
We're going to go right to number 1.
Yeah.
Is that what we're going to do?
Well, that's going to make it
What's
easier,
number
I
one?
think.
Greg, what's your number 1?
Forza 6. I want my number 2, just so because we know that Forza's not going to win it.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Witcher 3.
Dan.
I'm probably going to have to go with Rocket League.
Number 1. Your number 2?
My number 2 would probably be Super Mario Maker.
Okay.
Ooh.
Just getting in there. He says Rocket League. What's your number 2, Mosier?
Rocket League's my number 1.
Yeah.
Out of these? Wow. Fallout.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Dave?
Uh, I, it's funny because I'm gonna completely mirror Greg on this one.
Wow.
My number one, Forza 6, and and a very close second to Witcher 3.
Greg, do you pay him money to make that vote?
No, not at all. He
Yeah.
says the best taste out of all of you.
Collusion.
I mean,
Wow.
I smell.
honestly, you
I
you know my love
collusion.
for Forza,
I sense
Rigged.
and this Forza was just so
He even
so
says it
good
right.
this year.
He even says it right.
Oh
I
yeah,
know, right? See,
proper pronunciation.
I like doing
Dan-
this way. By the way,
Dan Greenewalt would be very proud of me.
Yeah.
He is. We all know he is.
Yeah.
What about you, Austin? What's your top 1 and 2?
My number one game of the year is Metal Gear Solid 5.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
And then what's your runner-up?
Rocket League.
I think to me that makes Rocket League number 1 in this.
Yeah.
list.
Number one.
I'm
Yeah.
perfectly okay saying Rocket League is number one.
And then honestly, like what we just did, I think we do that for all 10 positions or all, like you say, 9 positions.
Yeah, Rocket League is good. I mean, let's be honest. How many times have we spent on there screaming at the top of our lungs, having
So
just
many.
stupid amounts of fun?
And for a game
Playing
that's
that
got
game.
a whole bunch of cosmetic DLC and not charged for
Right.
like
I paid $1 for Back to the Future car.
I bought 2 copies of that game. I got the
Me
PSN
too.
one, but then I bought a Steam version, right?
Yep.
Did they ever get the cross-platform implemented?
It's in
Yep.
there, definitely.
Nice.
We played private matches the other night, and it was great. So
Now I do have a question. Actually, I don't. Since we're on this, just a quick second.
Mhm.
With the private matches, can you specifically do cross-platform now? Like if I'm on, you can.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
you can set
That's
you set a room name and a password, or just a room name, and you can send that to your friends and say, "Join me here,"
Okay.
and they hit the lobby, and in you go.
Nice. Okay, that's wicked.
Yep.
So, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Greg.
So I'm just saying, like, what do you think? To do this again for the remaining 9?
I mean,
Like,
yeah.
what are your top 2 games of the remaining 9? Because I mean, mine aren't changing.
Okay, so
But
my
I mean-
number 3 game is Soma.
What about? Well, yeah, you just go to Rocket League on that. Oh man, that just, you don't need to keep it on there since it's already made it.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan? What's your so Mario? Out of what's left, you've got Mario Maker as your number 1. What's your runner-up?
Probably Fallout.
What about you, Moser? You got Fallout, and what's your runner-up from what's left?
Man, I don't even have dogs in the fight left.
Damn, son.
Yep. Like, I haven't played Until Dawn. I haven't played Forza. I haven't played Tomb Raider. I haven't played Soma. Haven't played Metal Gear.
You've seen a lot of Metal Gear, though.
Yeah, you know what? 3, I'd give Metal Gear, for sure. It looks really intriguing, and the Fultons are a really cool aspect. I like that you can stealth or go loud if you want.
We didn't even talk about the soundtrack in that game.
This is-
right?
Oh, the soundtrack. Oh my god.
Like, the soundtrack in Metal Gear is astounding, and the fact
My-
that I can have, like, She Blinded Me with Science blasting out of a
I was
helicopter.
gonna say when my helicopter
Yeah,
picks me up, blinding me with science is what's
The
going.
helicopter. The helicopter pickups with the different music is good. I'd give it that.
So we got what's left here. We got Forza on here twice. We got Fallout on here twice. Forza's are both number 1s. Fallout's a runner-up and a number 1. Metal Gear is a runner-up and a number 1. What do you think?
I think it would kill them to put Forza.
That's why I want to do it.
It would kill them.
I don't know if I can handle that being in...
I don't think I like Forza.
This democracy is screwed.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know, but and again, I've never played it. But even if I did, I know I couldn't get it in my top 5, personally.
I could see it being in my top 5. I could see it potentially being top 3 if it's all that it's supposed to be again. It was a great game. I spent a lot of hours on it. I really enjoyed it. So, I mean, if it's back to being a full game again, then I can see it number 3 or 4 or 5 or better.
I'd be willing to go. I don't know.
I could see myself playing something like The Witcher and getting more or something into that than Forza.
That's just because you
That's
haven't
just my
played
opinion.
the. That's just because you haven't played the drinking game for Forza, my friend. That's like the one for Mario Kart, where, yeah.
This list, the top 3 to me is Rocket League, Witcher 3, Metal Gear, and then right behind that is Forza.
See, I'd be willing to go Rocket League, Witcher, Forza, Metal Gear.
But we already have a racing game in the top 3, Greg.
That's not a racing game.
It's not a racing game.
It's the
Not a
greatest
racing
soccer game of all time.
They'll make you take over this whole
Except
It's the most fun you can have on 4 wheels.
Sometimes in the air. Right?
I'm gonna miss the Christmas part because that's going away today, right?
Yeah.
I think the puck and the Christmas mug goes today.
Hockey stuff.
Oh,
It's making me sad. I really enjoyed that.
I'm definitely willing to concede that we currently have Splatoon in number 2, and I don't think it belongs there.
Yeah.
I thought that was just there because that's just happened to be where it
just
landed.
happened to be where it landed. Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah,
Put-
I
Who we got?
would be fine seeing. I'd see Witcher 3 at number 2 personally.
Let's
Yep.
do it.
Let's
I
do
think
that.
that's fair.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it's Austin doing that. I'm just changing
I'll
my
move
votes.
that. You move the stuff at the bottom. I got the.
Changing my votes.
I got the list. Okay.
What do you got for a runner-up there, Dave?
Well, yeah, my other runner-up would probably be already on there. From what's left there, I'd go for me Fallout 4.
A lot of Fallout on that list.
A lot of Fallout on that list.
A lot of Forza on that list.
Yep.
And the 2 people are actually going to vote for it.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with Forza being, I guess, number 3.
I'd okay that. If yeah.
My third pick is clearly so far out from the rest of the group because nobody's played Soma, right? But that's just the way it is.
Okay, so then we saying Forza at number 3?
Sure.
I mean, I'm saying that, but
All in favor of
That's-
Forza number 3 at number 3, say aye.
Yes. Yes.
All in favor of the rat dragging the pizza down the stairs ahead of Forza 3. Say aye.
such haters.
That was awesome.
All right. Well,
Make it so, sir.
It's a good day.
It is good.
That way we can toss Mario Maker off there. I mean, what?
So
no.
that puts Fallout up higher on Dave's list.
Yeah.
What's your runner-up for what's left?
Metal Gear, I think, behind Forza, for sure.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was Dave that said that. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the Hangout.
It sucks because I haven't really played anything else.
I think Metal Gear has to be the.
Honestly,
Yeah.
if I had to
I'm
go
with
on
that.
hype, if I had to go on hype and what I'd be really interested in playing, my own hype, it'd be Metal Gear on that
For 4.
me. Yeah.
Everybody agree?
Fair enough.
I think next looks like kind of Fallout-y.
Yeah, if it looks like Fallout to me.
Yep.
That would have been that's my next choice behind Tomb Raider.
Hmm.
I'm okay with that. Put Fallout there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that puts Fallout 5th. So we've got Mario Maker, Soma, Tomb Raider, Splatoon, and Until Dawn. We all know Soma's finishing 10th.
That cuts me deep. But seriously, you guys need to play this game. It's not $50 and it's amazing.
We'll give you 9.
Over your salary.
No, you get Soma on there twice.
Oh, I do, yeah.
I see what you're doing.
So we got for 6th through 9th, we got Mario, Tomb Raiders, Splatoon, and Until Dawn.
I'm not drinking your Kool-Aid, man.
Man, you gotta drink that Kool-Aid.
So I don't know. What do you
How's this
think?
looking
I
here?
mean, I personally would have Tomb Raider above Mario Maker, but I'm a well-known Mario
Yeah.
Maker hater. So
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't played it, and I would agree with that.
I actually like the list the way it is right now.
I could live with the list being the way it is right now.
Yeah. me too.
Agreed.
I mean, I might lose a little bit of sleep over it as though I was playing Soma, but
You just wouldn't sleep at all.
yeah.
I think that's a pretty damn good list.
That's
That's a
yeah.
good list.
I mean,
What's
I've
the list?
It's a good
I think
list. We made a thing.
We've taken our time and we've gone through and we've knocked out more than enough really good games, and
Yeah.
this
Greg?
is what's
Yep.
sort of left standing.
I need you to sell me on Undertale.
I can't. That game started really strong for me, and then I just lost interest in it.
Perfect. I feel better. Okay.
It was on so many Giant Bombers list, though.
That and
I know.
Hacknet. Like I bought the two of them, and Hacknet's okay, but
Yeah.
it's not like this great. Anyway.
So,
Led me
hey,
astray,
host,
Garrison.
you should read the list for people.
Yeah.
Break it down.
Here's our top 10. So number 10 we have Soma. Number 9 is Until Dawn. Number 8 is Splatoon. 7, Rise of the Tomb Raider. 6 is Super Mario Maker. Number 5 is Fallout 4. In the 4th position we have Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Number 3 is Forza 6. Second is Witcher 3. And finally, Rocket League.
Hey,
I honestly didn't play any of these games. I just wanted to see how high I could get a racing game on your list.
Go figure. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out, guys. We definitely made this challenging on each other. I think we have some homework to do. You all have to play Soma, and I
Yeah.
will play F1 2015 at some point.
I will definitely pick up Forza. I hate to say it, but I will.
Do it.
You guys
The
should try Cities. I think
Yep.
Skylines is
Yes.
robbed not being on this list.
those
Cities is
of
on
you
the
who have
radar.
Xenoblade,
The only thing
look
that's
for a little
missing
further.
Yeah, well, Dan, sure.
is Jeremy Clarkson.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah, that's right. They took him out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that threw them for a loop
Yeah.
when that whole thing went down, and you can kind of see that.
I'm hoping the Top Gear track is on it.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my favorite. That's one of my
in a
favorite
few
tracks
different
by far.
iterations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's the other thing too that I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on. The wet weather racing in Forza 6 is something else.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
totally different than just sort of, hey, there's raindrops and everything's really slippery.
Yeah. Like if you go from say like Drive Club or well even I guess Project the wet. Just the way they model you can hydroplane, like
Yeah.
you legit like it's scary. It is scary when you're going into a turn and you see a puddle and you hit that puddle. Scary, Austin. It's scary.
Look at Austin. He's like, no, I don't know what hydroplane
Austin's
means.
a big baby because Soma came 10th.
Yeah.
Big baby, because that game made me fear the universe. So, guys, where can people find us on the internet? Dave, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
With me, you can find me on Twitter. DJ Schism is my handle. DJSKIZIM. You can find me on absolutely everything by that handle.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the best way to find me.
And Mr. Mosher?
I'm on Twitch. I'm the biggest casual of all streamers possible. It's twitch.tv/NB132. Do have a bit of renewed enthusiasm for it, so hope to see some folks come out and say hi there. Also, Twitter is gmosier. It's very simple.
The salt
no one
stream.
ever. Because what?
The Salt Stream is amazing.
Salt
You're on
Stream.
Twitch. It's always good.
Yeah, I mean it's fun. I don't claim to be like super good, but I do try to have fun. And same as Twitter, gmosier. Super easy.
Awesome. Dan?
You can find me on twitch.tv/gameplay, GAMEPLEH. Every Thursday and Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Virtual Wrestling League. Pretty awesome.
TWA hype.
That's right.
Honestly, one of the best things I've seen on Twitch is that, and how you're not a partner blows my mind. Like it's an awesome idea. Awesome.
Don't open that can
I
of worms.
appreciate that. I've tried to make something that was sort of original and a little bit different. So, and I think we've been able to do that. So
we get on and we press play on our stream and we play games. You've actually created an entire existence that your subscribers can participate, and that's amazing. And it blows my mind. Anyway,
appreciate that.
That's all I want to say about that.
It's a good time.
And Greg, when's the next episode of Generation 16?
Oh God. If you go to my Patreon page, you can see.
Yeah.
I screwed that up. So yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Sewart, SEWART. You can find me on Twitch.tv/Sewart, where I'm usually on most weeknights, just kind of playing whatever I play, but sooner or later that tends to include 16-bit games on the Genesis and Super Nintendo. I have a web series called Generation 16, which
is amazing.
Chronicles. Thank you very much.
Really good.
Thank you. Which chronicles the Sega Genesis by playing every game in chronological order. You can find that at youtube.com/Generation16. And I'm part of the Player One podcast, which you can find at player1podcast.com. We just posted our 478th episode.
That's awesome.
Damn.
That's great.
Awesome.
It's huge.
Was that your game of the year?
Props to that.
That is our Game of the Year 2015 episode.
What was Game of the Year for you guys? Oh, you don't want to give it away.
We do our own
Spoilers.
personal top fives.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
There you go. Check that out.
Go listen. It's like a 3-hour cast. About as long as this one has been, actually. Getting pretty close.
Yeah, we're getting there, yeah.
Well, I guess if anybody wants to find me, it's Juno Tippinator, TPN8R on YouTube, Twitch, PSN, Xbox, everywhere. So find me. I'm out there. Make it easy. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Really appreciate it. Let's do this a little more often.
Can we talk about one more thing before we sign off?
Yeah, what's up?
To call out the fact that everybody here is part of the Extra Life Halifax Guild.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of how we all know each other. So a bunch of really great guys here. I love hanging out with you guys because you all have huge hearts. We support the IWK Children's Hospital here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. So just wanted to say that.
Hey.
Big thanks to all of our volunteers this year, not just the guys you see here in the chat. Greg's our guild president. Allison was our secretary this year. She did a ton of work for us. Everybody who helped at HalCon.
Also, Austin did tremendous amount.
Austin did a ton of work. He's our vice president, and most of the success we had this year had everything to do with him.
Had Juno
sure.
written all over it.
But without the help and support of the rest of the team, it was just me standing there on a soapbox. So hey, I lost my gallbladder because of you guys. So thanks.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
And you gave us some good kayfabe for the GWA.
Oh my God! How many
kayfabe
hospital
ever.
bed did you get? Because
That's
that was
real.
yeah. How many people beat me up in real life? And I got emails from people being like, "Who really beat you up? Is the police okay?" Like,
I'll come find you.
Children's Health Phone was all over
That's the
that.
best story ever.
It was the greatest. Anyways, let's maybe try to do this a little more often. I appreciate you guys taking the time this evening, and thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.